Well, it's here. American life. Are there any other words?
You just hit record and I'm already completely speechless.
Literally, like I'm actually so scared right now. Like I can't even tell you anything I've ever thought.
I
I'm so
think
stupid.
it just goes to show
Literally,
how much
literally.
we care about American life and the impact this has on the planet and the human species.
Ah, so stupid. Like it's just,
Oh,
Yeah.
stupid.
it's like the incoming gag has made my brain cells stop functioning. I'm comatose. I'm probably having a stroke. It's it's really intense. I feel like that Debbie Ryan video when she's like, I sat down with the president of Disney Shirts. Like, I sat down with the president of podcasting and I said, we're going to make history. And that's what this is.
Yeah. I mean, we've probably talked about the eventual American Life episode on like every episode of the show for
Months. This
probably
has to be
three
months.
months. At
I
least
think longer than
3
three.
months.
Because I think we were talking about it when we did the double feature,
Yeah.
which was back
Right.
in February. And we probably talked about it before then too.
Whoa.
Like, we've been
I
talking
mean,
about this for so long. And like, I do think, though, the closer it's gotten to 4th of July, which, by the way, happy 4th of July, everybody who's listening. If you're an American, and for our global audience, just another day by Lady Gaga from Joanne.
right.
Uh, but it's
Happy
like
day that you're
happy
listening to
day,
this.
happy American Life Day. But
Right.
I feel like literally probably at the end of every single episode, we've talked. Marie and I have talked somehow about the scores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
No, thanks.
however much we've talked about it on the air, we've talked about it 5 times as much off the air.
Yeah. I mean, we probably talk about this album every day.
Like, what are we gonna do when we don't have it anymore?
We'll
Like,
probably listen to ourselves talk about it every day and talk about it in person to each other just as much, if not more.
Right.
well, that's probably true. And everybody else is gonna be talking to us about it because it's gonna
Yeah.
cause a white. Should we like start one of those trends like hashtag Get American Life to #1 on iTunes?
Yes, we
With
should.
Mary and Beth.
Oh my God, you
She's
two and
promoting her own
Marianne
music.
Beth. Is
Yeah.
that real music or is that AI?
It's the AI music.
I don't support.
Yeah. Um, but I mean, I feel like once this comes out, it's gonna be hard to walk down the street without getting noticed.
I think
Yeah.
so too. A lot of people are gonna be scared, and
So we'll see how it
it's
goes.
just
Yeah.
lives are about to change, and society's probably gonna collapse.
Yeah.
Um,
I would also like to say, just in case, you're part of the horde of millions of people that have just now tuned in because, someone's finally talking about American Life by Madonna. I feel like we could all introduce ourselves real quick. So, just in the vein of optimism,
oh my God.
we'll introduce ourselves again to our awesome audience. Um,
Okay.
but I'm Maria. Hi, I'm Maria. And so on Pop Girlies, we all come to the table standing one person in particular. So well, like notably, you guys are looking at me like you don't know what I'm talking about.
You're acting like this is the first episode of the
No,
podcast.
this is so funny. I'm about to pee my pants.
Well, hey, I mean, I feel like it's healthy just to refresh and make sure people know who we are and what we're
And
doing.
this is gonna attract a lot of traffic.
I know,
There's
that's what I just
so
said.
many. Oh,
We
bro,
thought you were kidding.
I'm joining the joke. I'm hopping onto the bit.
Well, awesome. Awesome. Okay.
Well, are you
Okay,
done with
well,
your?
I'm Drew. I'm Drew, and my diva is Katy Perry.
And I'm Levi, and I'm the resident Swiftie,
And I am a little monster.
and
Right.
that's what's happening,
Yeah,
and that's what you missed on Glee.
right.
Yeah,
Bye.
I mean, this is our show. We love our show. But more importantly, we love American life.
Yeah,
This is not a safe space for American life deniers. This is not a safe space for anti-Americanism, if that means being mean to Madonna. That's not a safe space for Madonna triers, anything. So just be warned.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, normally we do hot tracks at the beginning of every episode where we talk about the songs that have been, kind of in our lives, in our eardrums the past week before we get into the album. But this is a special, very, very special episode because we knew that we wanted to do American Life on the 4th of July. And we already have an episode that came out earlier this week, the Virgin episode. Please check it out. We talk about the new Lord album. We all love it. It's amazing. So we're not going to do hot tracks for this week because we already did them. And it's just going to give us more time to talk about American life, which is what the people really want. I mean, it's what the hordes of masses outside my window chanting are really craving. So I think, should we just get into it?
Yeah. We had to
absolutely.
record like we were running out of time.
Okay, Hamilton.
Record day and night like we're running out of time.
Wait,
Yeah.
when are we going to do the Hamilton episode?
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
That's gonna be a boatload of fun. I can just tell right now.
Instead of just reviewing it, we just do the entire musical.
We perform it. Oh my God, that'd be so fun.
The concept of Maria doing You'll Be Back.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Well, put it in the books. We're definitely gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I that should maybe be like the new joke, like the new it's our new American life.
Next 4th of July.
It's Hamilton.
Wait, that would be good. Wait.
Oh my gosh. For some reason, like we always actually do something extremely patriotic on 4th of
Other-
July.
And it's always a bonus episode.
Oh my God. That's good.
Why do you write like you're running out of time?
Okay. Are we ready?
Yes.
Oh, we're ready.
Buckle in world, because you're about to get educated on American life. So, a little bit of background for you. In the late 90s and early 2000s, Madonna was experiencing a second career peak. This began with the release of Ray of Light in 1997. Y'all need to go listen to the Ray of Light episode if you want true education about that chapter of the Bible. And this era ushered in a time of newfound critical respect and commercial success for her. This continued with her follow up album, 2000's Music. Ray of Light was a mature, sophisticated effort, and music was seen as her return to the dance floor. It was more musically eclectic, taking inspiration from dance pop, electronica, funk, house, rock, country, and folk music. Most importantly, Music was her first album working with the French producer Mirwais. Mirwais was introduced to her through her manager, Guy Oseary, who had received a few songs from Mirwais' album production. Madonna loved his sound and thought that it would be a perfect fit for what she wanted music to become. Music was a commercial success, with the lead single, the title track, becoming Madonna's last number one hit on the Billboard Hot 100. In 2001, Madonna launched the Drowned World Tour in support of both Ray of Light and Music. It was her first tour in 8 years following the Girlies show in 1993. During this period, her personal life was also going very, very well. She met the English director Guy Ritchie in 1998. They began dating. Their son, Rocco Ritchie, was born in 2000, and the couple was married in December 2000. Madonna moved to England, and she had a bit of a public image change, especially in the British media. They lived in this big country estate, and she became kind of known as a lady of the manor. This is where her nickname Madge comes from. That's kind of a popular nickname, especially it was for her in the 2000s, and it originated with the British tabloids during this time when she was living in England, married to Guy Ritchie, kind of doing the whole perfect family thing. She was also continuing her study of Kabbalah, and she became a spokesperson for it in the media. Kabbalah was a huge part of Ray of Light, and it was a bit more muted in music, but it would play a larger role in shaping the direction and themes of Madonna's follow up album. Mainly, it caused her to reflect on her relationship with materialism, fame, and celebrity. Ever since the 1984 single of the same name, Madonna had been known, much to her, you know, dismay, as the quote unquote material girl. She originally intended that song to be a commentary on like a certain kind of liberated woman, and it was supposed to be more of like satirical, tongue in cheek, but that moniker ended up defining her in the media and in culture. And she has talked a lot about regretting that song for the way that it impacted her public image, as she has never really identified as a material person. In her own words from a 2003 MTV interview, this is how she described her relationship with Kabbalah and how it has changed her life. Obviously, studying Kabbalah has changed my whole outlook on life, so it's affected me as a parent, it's affected me as a wife, and as a friend, all of those things. It is several things. One is that we are all connected, that you and a person that lives on the other side of the world is an extension of me, and that feeling things like envy or jealousy or hostility or any of the negative things that we all feel for each other as human beings is like hating yourself. And that conscience is everything. And that the power of your thoughts and the power of your words determine your environment, the things that you draw to you. Because we think in fragmented ways, we have wars. We don't see each other as extensions of ourselves, as humanity. So that's the biggest concept, I think. Although much of Madonna's professional and personal life was going very, very well, the world, specifically America, was in a very fraught and bleak place during this time period. The 9/11 attacks had a profound impact on American society, causing the national mood to be one that was full of paranoia and darkness. The country was on the eve of war as the American government prepared to invade Iraq in 2003. These events, as well as her personal, spiritual, and philosophical beliefs, caused Madonna to reflect on the notion of the quote unquote American dream. So, getting into the album, I literally have chills saying this. Madonna reunited with Mirwais for the album. She has described him as a very intellectual and political collaborator. Their recording sessions would often go into the night because they would spend hours and hours having political debates and discussions about current events and what was happening in the world. Unlike music, Mirwais was also a songwriter on this album. American Life was produced entirely by the two of them and largely written only by the two of them as well. There are a few other songwriters credited here and there. Most notably, Nothing Fails started off as a demo by Welsh singer Griffiths. It was originally called Silly Thing. She was invited to join some sessions, and Madonna rewrote some of the lyrics, and then her and Mirwais completely reconceptualized the production and made it kind of sound what it currently sounds like. This is a quote from that MTV interview where Madonna is talking about how she was reflecting on American society, its values, and her life while creating the record. I feel like America has changed over the years in that a lot of our values seem to be materially oriented and so superficial. And we all seem to be obsessed with fame just for the sake of fame, no matter what. Sell your soul to the devil if that's what it takes. And we're also completely obsessed with the way we look. And I bought into a lot of that. So a lot of the record, especially the first three songs, are just like, what was I thinking? There was a lot of skepticism at the time towards the world's most famous woman and celebrity, openly saying that wealth, fame, and material possessions were not important. This is her response to that kind of skepticism. Who better to say those things don't matter than somebody who's experienced them? People may say, how can you say they don't matter? How can you say that money won't bring you happiness if you don't have a lot of money? How can you say that fame and fortune are not a guarantee for happiness and joy and fulfillment in your life? You have to have that experience to know because you have all those things. I've had all those things and I've had nothing but chaos around me. So I'm just sharing what I know with the world because I do think that we've become completely consumed with being rich and famous, our society has. And I just want to tell people, take it from me. I have all those things and none of them ever brought me 1 minute of happiness. Sonically, Madonna wanted the album to have a very minimalist musical structure. The record contains a lot of hallmarks and characteristics of Mirwais' production style. So there's a lot of loops that happen. There's a lot of weird, glitchy synths that sound kind of like sonar pulses. There's stuttering instrumentals and vocals that kind of like stop and start type of thing that happens quite a bit throughout here. And there's a lot of vocal manipulation occurring as well. It is a fusion of the extremely synthetic kind of music and an extremely acoustic kind of music. So the synths on here sound almost dystopian. The drum machines are very glitchy. There's a lot of points where her voice sounds very inhuman, but a lot of the times they're paired with extremely simple, folky guitar arrangements. The musical identity of the album has largely been deemed electrofolk or folktronica, which is a kind of music that was first explored on the album Music. American Life is also noted for its inclusion of multiple rap verses, most famously on the title track. This is Madonna breaking down the origins of that rap verse. Basically, we'd recorded the whole song and we had this instrumental thing at the end. And Mirwais was like, you know what? You have to go and do a rap. And I was like, get out of here. I don't rap. And he was like, yeah, you do. Just go in there. Just do it. He totally encouraged me. I had nothing planned, nothing written. And he just told me to do stream of consciousness, whatever I was thinking. Because I was always drinking soy lattes in the studio and I drive my Mini Cooper to the studio, I was just like, okay, let me just talk about the things that I like. So I went and it was just total improv. And obviously it was very sloppy at first, but I got out all my thoughts and then I wrote everything down that I said and then I perfected the timing of it. So it was totally spontaneous. Thematically, the album is a condemnation of all the things that do not matter in life, like material wealth and fame, as well as a celebration of all the things that do matter to her, such as love, family, and spirituality. Madonna biographer Lucy O'Brien has noted that a major theme of the record is nothingness itself. Many of the songs discuss the feeling of emptiness one experiences when prioritizing the wrong things. This theme is also reflected in the song titles themselves. Like there's Nobody Knows Me, Nothing Fails. A song like Love Profusion has its repeated usage of the word no. Mother and Father is another song that discusses the impact her mother's death had on her in her life, which is a theme that she has touched on all throughout her career. We've talked about that quite a bit in the show. But this song specifically involves her relationship with her father as well, and the way that her mother's death impacted that relationship. The song Ecstatic Process began its development as kind of a love song, but eventually it became about the struggles that she has faced with men in the way that they're the same that she has felt with Jesus and organized religion. So that song, in a lot of ways, when she says Jesus Christ, she's meaning that very literally. Intervention, that song is a tribute to her son, Rocco, who was born right after music came out. So this becomes the second song in her discography that is a tribute to one of her children. Obviously, for those who know, the song Lucky Star from Ray of Light is a tribute to her daughter, Lourdes. Die Another Day was originally released in 2002 as the Bond theme for the film of the same name. Its electroclash production and philosophical lyrics were a preview for what was to come in American life, and eventually it was chosen to be included in the track list. Overall, the album has 11 songs and clocks in at 49 minutes and 39 seconds. So now getting into the release of the record, the lead single American Life was released as the lead single on March 22nd, 2003. It was a very controversial release, as most releases are for Madonna. So most critics reacted very negatively to the song itself. Slant magazine called it, quote, trite, self-aggrandizing, often awkward, end quote. The AV Club called it, quote, jittery, tuneless, and shallow to the point of self-parody, end quote. The song was not a commercial success. It peaked at number 37 on the Billboard Hot 100. However, the big story with the song American Life is the controversy that came from the music video. So the music video was directed by Jonas Ackerland. It was conceived by him and Madonna in early January, and the video was shot in the first week of February. The goal was to create a video that was both anti-war and anti-materialism, and the pair settled on the concept of a war-themed fashion show as a way to showcase the absurdity of war and point out the elitism of runways and high fashion. For context, the video was conceived of and filmed on the eve of the 2003 Iraq invasion. Before the war, the majority of the American public was in support of it. A January 2003 CBS poll showed that 64% of Americans wanted the United States to take military action against Iraq. The video was intended to be a critique against the Bush administration and the decision to invade Iraq. The invasion began on March 20th, 2003. So the video was set to premiere on April 4th, so right after. And on April 1st, Madonna announced a last minute decision to not release the original video. For those of you who've seen the video, it's incredibly graphic. It's very violent. It's very upsetting. She said that it felt inappropriate to air given that war had actually started, that it wasn't just a concept or an idea. Years later, she said that her decision was really motivated by fear over the safety of her children, as well as possible repercussions on Guy Ritchie's film career. The backlash to the video was predicted to eventually make the sex book backlash look like nothing in comparison. And so, kind of for a myriad of different reasons, this was the first time in her career that she censored herself, which, for those of you who know Madonna at all, if it's just from how we've talked about her on the show or your own experience and relationship with her, it's very out of character for her. So it kind of became a controversy that she censored herself and not just, release the video the way that it was intended to be. So a heavily altered version of the video, which mainly features her performing against a backdrop of various flags, was released on April 16th. The original video, now called the director's cut, wasn't available on her official YouTube account until April 27th, 2023. So it wasn't available to watch on an official way for 20 years, which is pretty crazy. Three additional singles were released: Hollywood, Nothing Fails, and Love Profusion. Hollywood became her first single not to chart on the Billboard Hot 100 since 1983. Neither of the follow up singles charted as well. The album was released on April 21st, 2003. It debuted at number one on the Billboard 200 chart with 241,000 copies sold in its first week. It was her fifth number one album in the US, and it peaked at number one in 13 additional countries, including the UK and Canada. It is one of her lowest selling albums, and it marked a sharp decrease in album sales and overall commercial success following the huge hits of Ray of Light and Music. So, getting into the album's reception and legacy, upon its release, American Life garnered mixed reviews. It has a 60 on Metacritic. The New York Times felt that it was self absorbed and didn't deliver on the insightful commentary it set out to provide. Slant Magazine said, quote, it's frequently self indulgent, misguided, unpleasant, difficult to listen to, silly, and humorless, but it's also consistent, uncompromising, and unapologetic. The Guardian opined that the best songs on the record make a mockery of all other current pop music, but that it wasn't a good album because there weren't enough good songs on it. Overall, critics were mixed on the production, songwriting, but really the themes themselves. If you read the reviews, the biggest thing that people criticize is what she is talking about rather than how she's talking about it. They were very critical of Madonna, of all people, critiquing the American dream, wealth, and status after having spent decades relentlessly chasing success. Madonna switched gears very quickly in her career, and the album's follow up, Confessions on a Dance Floor, was a return to the dance music of her roots, and that was a huge global commercial and critical smash. However, while promoting that record, she called American Life, despite its commercial failure, one of her personal favorites in her catalog. Over the years, its critical stature has grown. It still has some detractors. Like in 2023, Rolling Stone included it on its list of genuinely horrible albums by brilliant artists. But it has been treated a lot more positively in the media. The Guardian included it in a 2023 piece highlighting her best albums, and a 2020 retrospective review from that same publication called it a, quote, brilliantly odd peek behind fame's velvet rope. In 2020, Idolater ran a piece proclaiming it to be a, quote, underrated gem. It has developed a huge cult following, especially amongst her most diehard fans, who I think proclaim it to be one of the best albums of her discography and definitely the most underrated. Personally, I think it was just way too ahead of its time, which can sometimes feel like a cop out answer to say when something isn't really received well. Like, there's a meme about Christina Aguilera constantly saying that Bionic was too ahead of its time and that's the reason why it flopped. And I actually do think she's right about that, but like that's kind of like a meme. There's like compilation videos of her saying, it's just like too ahead of its time for certain people, but the people who really love music, they get it. And unironically, I do feel that way about American Life. Just really simply, I just don't think we were ready for an album like this in a lot of ways. In 2003, the American public was not ready for an anti war, anti Bush filled album. Do we need to remind anyone that the Chicks, formerly known as the Dixie Chicks, essentially lost their careers over a literal 20-second on-stage critique of President Bush at a show in London? The 2000s were also noted for intense celebrity worship. This was the decade that saw the rise of reality TV and gossip websites, as the American public was clearly so invested in the idea and importance of celebrity. I don't think that they were going to be a particularly receptive audience to such a critique and dismissal of that culture from someone who was supposed to be a spokesperson for it. Sonically, it was also just very dark and challenging in a way pop music really wasn't at the time. I mean, if you think about what was happening in pop music in the early 2000s, like I think of like either like pop rock or like R&B influenced music. Like this doesn't really fit into the kind of music that was playing on the radio. I just think for a lot of different reasons it makes sense why it didn't land when it was released, but I'm really happy that it's kind of had this like second life, and I think people look at it really fondly. I think that time has been very, very kind to it, especially with like the way that the Iraq War went and how, it's looked at now, I think, from a historical lens. Um, Kind of where we are as a society with regards to like material things and fame and celebrity. I just think that this is an album that really was ahead of its time, and I'm happy that it still exists and it's still out there for people to, wrestle with and encounter and have a relationship with now. Uh, yeah. So that's American Life. That is its genesis, its release, its legacy. Uh, I, yeah. I mean, I feel like it's very obvious that I love this album just from, talking about it for 1,000 years. And I'm so excited to hear Maria talk about it. I'm excited to hear Drew talk about it. I think we're going to start with Maria because I know Maria is a fellow diehard American lifer. And so I think that like it would be too much to have us speak back to back. And I know kind of stuff of what Drew thinks, but I also don't know a lot of what Drew thinks. Like I
Yeah.
know what Drew thinks about certain songs, but I don't know like his like thoughts on like the album as a whole. So I'm very curious for that. So Maria, why don't you open the American Life Party? Why don't you start us
Sure.
off? Talk about it.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much, Levi. Oh my gosh. We're talking about American life. This is just so crazy. I want to start by saying that while you were talking, I pulled up the Metacritic page myself just to kind of read through. And I kind of want to read this user review out loud because it's just indescribable. But this user on Metacritic called Madonna Stan 33 gave it a 10. And this is what they had to say. Invented the flop era, the controversial era, and the woke era all at once.
That's kind of like,
That's
wow.
everything.
Like, I'm not even done. I'm not even done. That was only the first sentence. This has some of her worst work that she has ever put out. Sigmund Freud analyzed this. I'm looking right at you. At the same time, this has the best track run from any album in her dialogue. The love perfusion to ecstatic process sequence is pure gold. Hollywood is a bit overrated in my opinion, and the rap bits are kind of camp once you get used to them. In the end, you have nothing left to lose except time. This is really the art pop of her career if you really think about it.
Wait, what's
Wow.
the person's name? Madonna Stan 33.
Yeah. Madonna Stan 33 on Metacritic.
I love how
Love
like it
you.
was like had critiques, but it's still a 10.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about American Life.
Wow.
Okay, but I also don't like the suggestion that Sigmund Freud analyzed this isn't a genius lyric.
I mean, it's
Well,
everything.
Maria also has one of my favorite Maria texts I've ever gotten was in the Pop Girlies group chat. Randomly, we had not even been talking about American Life, and you just randomly say, Pitchfork are such cowards for not doing an American Life review
I
randomly in
mean,
the workday.
yeah, in the middle of the workday.
No, but we actually need to talk about it. What the fuck, Pitchfork?
I mean, it's crazy because you would think if they want to join this camp of like, oh, it's awful, it's unlistenable, whatever, then it would just be an easy, controversial low score for them.
But they're cowards.
But they're cowards because
Because
they know it's good.
they know that they have to give it a 10 if they're being objective and truthful.
Yeah. If they're being objective, they have to give it a perfect score.
Because it's perfect.
So, I just don't know. It's crazy. But if I am recalling my own personal history correctly, I think I actually listened to this album for the first time all the way through on your birthday last year, Levi.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Wait, that's kind of Gag City Central.
That is
Yeah.
gag.
It might have been on your birthday or it might have been on Halloween. I can't remember exactly.
Let's
But
make it for history's sake my birthday.
but yeah, but I remember it like being like, oh my God, time of year is Levi's birthday. And I was like, here I am, American life.
Well, because that was also like
But
right after we
latte.
did the Ray of Light episode, and so like the
Hmm.
Madonna seeds were planted in the Maria garden.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, it's honestly hard to put concise thoughts to words because, like, there's just so much to say, but somehow it's just so easy to be caught completely speechless trying to talk about the album. Um, but
I think
honestly, though,
somebody says it like a wedding toast or like a eulogy.
I mean, come on. So, okay. So I will say when I mean, it was a couple of years ago because I heard it on TikTok, but when I first heard the song American Life, for a second, I'll admit it didn't click right away for me. But once it hit, it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe like, there was something I wasn't seeing. This is amazing. But I think this album, just all the way through, is such an awesome experience because I mean, I think this is one of the best like four track openings to an album like literally ever. It's so good. And I think like Art Pop is one that has like the first four tracks are like so good. It's just like incredible song after incredible song and it's just like, "Oh my God, how do the songs like keep getting better but in different ways?" And I feel like this kind of has that same vibe, to be honest, of like, "Oh my gosh, these songs are all so stunning." But for me, in my experience with this album, it has honestly just been so much fun to like bond over it with you guys. Like being out in public anywhere and just we do the Cocoa trees pointing to our mouths and doing the American Life rap is like, I hope that other people find some sort of similar source of joy because like it's indescribable and I think it's a necessity in your life to have something that you can do at the drop of a hat with your besties that nobody else can do that it's like this is our thing. Like at a moment's notice, we can do the American Life rap whenever, wherever, and it's like our thing. You know what I
Marie
mean?
and I
Like it's
have
just so
screamed
special.
that rap at each other in public countless times.
Countless times.
Countless times. And has the
Um,
song ever been playing while we've done it?
No,
No.
no.
never. Not once even.
Levi, famously, you did it outside of Wrigley Field after a movie at like 11 p.m. You did the whole entire thing. I don't remember what movie we saw, but we were just talking about it, and then you stopped and just did the entire thing.
And you know what? It probably was really necessary to the moment.
The moment called
I
for
think
it.
it
The
was
moment.
after we saw Conclave,
Oh my gosh.
because it was, yeah, it was
Wait,
after we
why is
saw
Conclave
Conclave.
actually so American Life coded? It kind of like nothing fails is like so like Pope to me.
Also, we like memeify the American Life lyrics more than anything ever.
No, yeah.
And like even today, because we constantly do the one where it's like you mix this with the that and it's just good. So today I said you mix the suspended senses with the delayed pleasure and it's just good. Like it's just
I think all
good.
three of us said like one of those today. At
Yeah.
least one. Because Drew had one too.
Drew
I
said
forgot
you
what it
mix
was.
Drew said you mix the oh mother why with the aren't you here with me? And it's just good. Like it gets so stupid at a point. Oh, it's just so
Oh,
funny.
it's
Oh,
so good.
oh gosh, I'm trying to find like one that you did. Oh, Levi said you mixed the I used to live with the in a fuzzy dream, and it's just good. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
But yeah, like I mean, I think kind of what you were saying, Levi, with like all of the different genres that this kind of encapsulates, and with it being like this like electro folk kind of thing. Like at first when you said that, I was like, wait, is it that? Is that actually what I'm hearing? And then after like thousands of more listens after you had said that, I was just like, oh, wait, like, yes, like, because for me, I listen to this and I'm just like, it's singular. Like, it doesn't need other adjectives to describe it because it just is American life. But then I'm like, oh, I am seeing all of these other descriptors that, are kind of being discussed here, with some of it being it's like this really crazy mix of like acoustic sounds with these like really clunky like electronic sounds. So it's just like very unique for sure. And sometimes when I think about these like early 2000s Madonna albums, I think of them as like just like the like CDs that would be in like the soccer mom's car. Like it's just like kind of like that like era of music where it's like, oh my gosh, like the Sheryl Crow CD and like maybe an Usher CD and then maybe like a Madonna CD. And that was just like the neighborhood mom. That was like what was in the minivan console. It was just like CDs. And this is one where I'm just like, this is so out of it's like it so stands on its own that like I can't, it's not like locked into the era of time for me. Like it feels very transcendent of time. I guess that
agreed.
was a really silly way to say that, but like sometimes when I think of like the album music, I can see that being like, oh yeah, like every mom on the street has that in her car. Like it was just like what all the cool hip moms were listening to. So I don't know. That's just like something like this, like that's some imagery in my brain when I think of some of these albums. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I just don't have anything else to say. I mean, like some of these lyrics are just like so bonkers crazy, and we quote them all the time. I mean, the like choral parts of this album are so cool with like Nothing Fails. And then there's like orchestral moments and Easy Ride that are like so cool. And there's also so many like really random, unexplained sonic choices in here where sometimes I hear it and I'm like, they were all these people in the room decided that there was going to be like this Velcro noise in Love Profusion. Like who decided that? Or that like the strings in Easy Ride would like clip at these really weird, awkward parts and like be like unfinished like at the end. And it's just like really interesting that all of these like really awkward kind of choices were made to make this, at least to me, it feels like more unconventional because again, there's like Velcro noises and like how her vocals are like stretched and elongated at the beginning of I'm So Stupid, or the like push the button, don't push the button in Hollywood is like also so weird. So it's just like I think there's like really awesome like characterization choices throughout the album that just make it so unique. And I also think the creative direction's really interesting too. And from the CD box set that Levi got on eBay, it's very cool to see some of the other like, kind of like album inserts and all these kind of like scrapbooky photos of her and how like the creative direction was taken on like an actual like physical level when it came to actually like selling the product of the album. And it's like so, I know we talked about this yesterday, but it's so painful that I can't just like search American Life by Madonna and have like billions of merch options because
It's like criminal.
yeah, it's insane.
Like, why can't I have American Life underwear, American Life socks, American Life shorts, American Life shirt, American Life hat, American Life glasses, American Life water bottle, American Life computer case? Like, why can't all those things exist? American Life bed cover, duvet.
We're in America, are we not?
And we're living a life, are we not?
Like, it's just embarrassing that there isn't an easier way to display it to the world that like we are on board with this album. But
It's
whatever.
just
Well, maybe we can catch one another out in the world, us American Life fans, by when we're in a coffee shop, maybe ordering our soy lattes with double lattes. And then I'm like, I know that person, I know their story,
I know what you are.
I know what you are. So, yeah, there we go.
Oh,
But th those are all my
Maria.
crazy ramblings. But
No, I
honestly,
loved it.
thanks. But I mean, like the my biggest experience with this, not even just having it be an incredible album, is like how much fun it is to talk about it with you two and quote it and meme it and sing it and rap it and all that stuff. Like it's just so much fun. And I would have never imagined that this would be the piece of art that would be so like like essential for the three of us because we talk about it and quote it all the like it's actually insane how much we talk about it. So, I
There
just
can't be anybody else in the state of Illinois that talks about it as much as we do.
no.
No.
Like
Like, no way.
we undoubtedly talk about this album more than Madonna ever has in her life, and we definitely like it a lot more too.
She probably is like the same way that Gaga is. It's like, I don't remember American Life.
Right, right.
I don't think
Oh,
she could recite the track list to you,
probably not. But you never know.
but we can, and that's what matters.
Exactly. It's like when artists are like, "Oh my gosh, my album's coming out. My album is out today. It belongs to you." That's how this feels, you know?
Mhm. It's
Yeah.
ours. It's our American life.
It's ours. Okay, thank you.
Oh, Maria, that was so beautiful. Oh, I
Thanks.
loved that. Okay, Miss Drew,
American lifers.
give us your
God.
American Life
Um,
thoughts.
yeah, so I have had such a journey with American
Yeah,
life.
God, poor Drew. First of all, poor Drew has been stuck with like two people from the loony bin about American life. And he's been like indoctrinated and like held captive to love American life.
So my initial exposure to it was probably the same time Maria was listening to it for the first time because her and Levi talked about it so much. Um, and I listened to it and I wasn't a huge fan of the album, which honestly made the whole meme of it even funnier. Um, and then like I would say it was probably like a couple months ago. I mean, I it was one of those things where you really just want and I'm a huge fan obviously of like camp content and like content that transcends like just quality and content that like you honestly live so much for like the laughter of it all than understanding and recognizing the quality of it. And so that really made me go back to American Life. Um, and I really came around to liking the title track and Hollywood a lot. And so those I would come back to pretty frequently. Um, Specifically Hollywood, I thought was really strong. I've always kind of had an issue with um, Madonna's like vocal performance in a lot of her songs. But this album was really interesting because there's a lot, obviously, of rap and a lot of like her doing a bunch of weird stuff and like being super experimental. And so that was the stuff I was really interested in. I mean, like I famously on Ray of Light love Shanti Ashtangi, uh, which is probably the least raved about song on Ray of Light. Um,
We had a joke for so long that Drew would always have I mean like I feel like honestly still but like the most unpredictable Madonna takes ever.
Yeah,
Like we
because your
could
second
never
favorite song is
predict.
Dork Ballet from Madam X.
uh,
Like we could never predict what Drew was gonna think about Madonna.
yeah.
Oh.
So I was like, it took me a long time to come around to it. Especially because a lot of the vocal performance on this album, well, yes, she is being very experimental and different. A lot of it, she's like really for example, right after the intro, going into the first verse of "I'm So Stupid," just holding the like
It's so good.
crazy.
Like it's better than Mozart. I'm sorry, it is.
And so there was some of that where I'm just like, okay, I can't, I will not come around to this. But honestly, like knowing we were doing this episode and wanting to be included in like the meme of it all, I really did come around to a lot of this. A lot of Madonna highlights for me are on this. Maria was kind of referencing the first four tracks being a really strong four-track run. I totally agree with that. Um, and it was kind of one of those things where every time I would come back to it, I would like one song, like I would try to listen to it and I would get one song further each time and like really come around to it. But recently I've been trying to get a lot more into it for this episode. Um, and I have the hardest time after Nothing Fails and into Mother and Father. The intervention and ecstatic process is where it kind of loses me a little bit. Which I know to you both probably doesn't make any sense, but like it does lose me with the vocal production. It does feel a little subdued. Um, and yeah, it's really hard. It's hard to go from something like an American Life, hip hop, electro folk, rap to like just a fun song on acoustic guitar. Like that's kind of I don't know. That's just something it's hard to go up and down in that way. I guess from high camp to like normal, I think is kind of hard. But she navigates that in a really interesting way. So yeah. And also this album does feel very 2003, but like in a good way. Like it doesn't to me feel dated in a way where I wouldn't and I don't know, maybe I like 2003. Like it reminds me a lot of Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen. It reminds me a lot of the soundtrack of that movie, which I love. Um, and it really does bring me back to the times and in a good way. And it doesn't feel like something where I listen to it and I go, oh, this is just so dated. Um, yeah. And I feel like a lot of albums in the early 2000s can lean more that way. But yeah, overall, I definitely like this. Yeah. And the only thing that I like truly despise about it is the album cover.
So here's the thing. No, no, but I respect you.
Cool.
What do you like
I
about it? Just
I
curious. Like, and everything about it?
I was literally about to say I genuinely don't think I can point out one thing on the album cover that I like.
Do you like any of like the album photo shoot?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, thank you, Maria. Maria is moving so he can see her background.
Yeah, it's my background on our Zoom call.
I do, yeah. Just the image that was chosen. I mean,
Sometimes it's funny because like I love this album cover, but for me, after this album is when she starts just truly going off the wall with the album covers. Because like to me, Confessions on a Dance Floor is like one of the great albums with a truly garbage album cover. I hate that cover.
Yeah,
But
and it's like so painful having seen all the other photos from that shoot and knowing how good it could have been, and then it
it's
being
just
so bad.
edited in the cheesiest, like tackiest way, in my opinion. And I hate the
Yeah.
font. I hate everything about it. This cover really works for me though. I think that like I love the thing that Maria said is like this idea that like this album doesn't even have a genre, that it just like is American life. Like it's like super singular quality, I think is one of its biggest strengths. And to me, that cover kind of reflects it because I've never seen a cover like this, and it is so like I guess kind of for good or bad, like very striking. Like it's just very in your face. And I like that a lot about it. I think it's really reflective of the impact that the music has. But I mean, I can also do have eyes and I can see why somebody wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
It's not like going for Mona Lisa beautiful, you know.
Right. And I mean I don't think it has to go for beautiful. I just think like I don't even know what it looks like. Like I like yeah.
It's a no for me.
Uh it's a huge no for me. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Drew. I'm so happy that you talked about American life and that your journey with it. You really have been, I don't know, I just really appreciate how much of a trooper you've been with how crazy Marie
Of
and I have been.
course.
And like literally every single time I get a text from you with the lyric to American Life, like I feel like my life extends by 5 years. Like it genuinely brings me so much joy anytime I'm like, oh my God, he's getting it a little bit more.
Well, and something as camp as this, it's so much more fun to just surrender yourself to
Yeah,
and go on the ride of it. Um, so yeah, that's why I love like talking about it so much because it's so crazy, but it's so like I understand why you both have such a like strong connection to it. Like it's just so wild, so camp, but like if you really surrender yourself to it and you really find yourself getting lost in the sound of it, like I can totally see why it like transcends for you both.
well, like it's one of those things where like you could either like resist the title track or you could surrender to how much joy the rap can give you. Like genuinely, the levels of serotonin I felt listening to that song, if I could feel like that every single second of my life, I wouldn't need antidepressants. Genuinely. Like if I could just like live on the rap.
Well, and also I think it's really interesting because I feel like for a lot of the other Madonna albums that were coming out, like I feel like people were genuinely going to her music for quality. Like, and it's not like this album isn't quality, but I think she's genuinely not, she does not give a fuck about it being kind of
Agreed.
at the caliber of her last, like, Ray, like, if you listen to this coming from Ray of Light and expecting something like, I mean, I think with every artist for their next work, you obviously have to go in with something different in mind. But with this, I mean, like, it's not only different in sound, it's completely different in her approach to making an album, which is so interesting. Um, so yeah, I think you honestly, the expectation going into American Life, I think you should go into it with the idea of it just being fun as hell, like just being so fun and just surrender yourself to like the camp of it. I think that's the best way to approach this one. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
soy latte.
soy latte, Mini
Thank you so
Cooper.
much, Drew. I love hearing you guys
Yeah,
talk.
of course. Thank
Just
you.
I don't know, it just makes me so happy to hear you guys talk. It really does. Okay, well, I guess I'll kind of share my personal opinions. I mean, I know I've talked quite a bit throughout the
Is this
episode.
when Levi tells us that it's his least favorite Madonna album?
Don't even joke about that. Like that's just like not, I can't even like accept that in my ears. It's
Is it your second favorite after Ray of Light?
yeah, yeah, yeah. So my top three would be Ray of Light, American Life, Like a Prayer. And like Confessions on a Dance Floor is like nipping at the toes of Like a Prayer, but Like a Prayer kind of edges it out a little bit.
I heard it all before.
Yeah. Oh God. The collapse when that episode happens,
Oh,
like
What holiday should we do it for that?
I don't know, like Veterans Day or something. Like I don't know. I don't know.
Salary.
That's a good
oh,
idea. I don't know. Um, but yeah, so kind of I guess getting into like my personal relationship with this album. So I first listened to it in late 2023 that's kind of when the Madonna standing kind of reawakened in me, is really starting to bloom. Which I've talked, I think, about quite a bit on the show, so I'm not going to rehash that. But I'd always put this album off. I'd always kind of just like ignored it. It seemed like just, I thought it would be really unappealing to me. I didn't think that it would resonate with me at all. I didn't think I would like it. And I figured that, like, since it was such a flop, like, it must have flopped for a reason. But there was this moment where the rap verse of American Life was kind of like making its rounds on Twitter. And I would watch it and just be so kind of confounded by what I was like hearing and like drawn into it, that I was like, you know what? I'm in this Madonna mood. I'm like, trying to kind of make my way through her discography. I was listening to like a lot of albums of hers for the first time. So I was like, I just need to give this a shot and listen to it. And genuinely, when I press play, it's one of those first listening experiences. I could recount, I think, almost like second by second where I was. It was such a transfixing experience listening to this album for the first time. From the second that the first song starts, I was so hooked in a way I've never been before. I was a fish in a lake in fishing season, just hooked, 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 because I had truly never heard music like this. It is so unique and specific to itself that it kind of like, in my history with music, my taste, the music that I love, like I didn't have things to compare it to. I remember being in my kitchen, I'm So Stupid comes on, and I was just like that like Patrick Star meme when he's like kind of like fuzzy and he's like looking around, like that's how I felt. It was like I can't believe what was happening in my ears. And I walked to the gym after I ate dinner, and I was waiting for the light to change outside of Whole Foods, and when Mother and Father, that rap came on, like I missed my light because I was just standing there in the street like being like, what am I listening to? And it has become an album that I listen to so much. Honestly, I probably listen to it more than I listen to Ray of Light. I find it like easy listening in a way that I don't really find Ray of Light. Because, like, even though this is very dark and it's very serious, there is that element of fun to it that I think is lacking in Ray of Light. I mean, Ray of Light's obviously this like just incredibly accomplished body of work, but it's not like as fun to listen to as American Life is. And so even with as heavy as this record gets and as intellectual and challenging as it can be, it's also just like an incredibly enjoyable listen. And I listen to it constantly. It's like if I don't know what to listen to, this is normally one of the albums that I listen to. And then I have like moments of obsession with it all the time. I just think that it's one of the most emotionally mature, reflective, and genuinely profound albums I've ever heard. So many songs on this record have like influenced the way that like I look at the world and like reflect on it. I think that there's just such this level of introspection here that I find so fascinating. She gives us such this deep glimpse into her psyche. I would call this her most personal album. I definitely think it's her most introspective. I think that this is the closest we get to Madonna as a person, not like Madonna as a public figure or as an artist, that we ever get throughout any album. Um, and I also really respond to this record because it's the kind of album that I think could only come from somebody who's like lived a lot of life. Like I love albums by older people. And like she was 44 when she released this. Like she's not like an old person, but I think that especially in the music industry, youth is prioritized so much, and like so much of what's pushed to us by the music industry and like the most successful artists are so young. I mean, we were kind of talking about this last week. Not last week, but last episode with Virgin, like talking about how young so many of these musicians are. And like now that we're like becoming the age that, people that we looked up to were, when they're releasing music. Like I think about this all the time. I'm 25. I'm the same age that Taylor was during the 1989 era. And like I can't fathom having that happen to me, that level of like fame and success happen to me right now with the way that like my brain is developed. And so I just think that there's a lot to like gain from albums that are made by people who are like, in their middle age. I mean, I'm thinking about like an album like Fetch the Bolt Cutters by Fiona Apple or Gaslighter by the Chicks. Like those albums to me have such rich emotional lives in a way that I don't think would be possible if they were written by somebody younger. And I feel the same way about this record. I don't think that somebody in their 20s could write an album that is like this because they just don't have that like level of like life experience too. I feel this way mostly about Mother and Father. Obviously, we've seen her talk about her mother's death so much throughout her career. It's this like such fascinating thread that is woven throughout the decades. And I love watching her views on it evolve and change and the way that she writes about it change. And this is the most emotionally mature take on it. To me, this is like her really like in a boxing ring, like fighting with this like thing that has plagued her entire life. And what I find especially fascinating about it is the inclusion of her father here. It's not just to her mother, it's about her father as well. And I think she gives him like a lot of grace and understanding, and like she recognizes that he was hurting too, and that he was grieving somebody as well, and that the way that she judged him for how he handled it like maybe wasn't fair. And I find it so moving, and it's the kind of thing that like isn't possible from an artist that's like 21 or 22. I love the way that the album is structured. I think that this is one of just my favorite track listings ever. I mean, we've talked a lot about like that like 4 track run at the very beginning, which I adore. Honestly, my favorite track run is at the end. The Mother and Father to Die Another Day to Easy Ride is like that is my fave. But I just love how it's structured. I think that the first half of the record really seems to be about like the things that don't matter. And then the second half is her clinging to all the things that do matter. I love that opening trilogy of songs. I feel like they're in conversation with each other. I mean, American Life is so broad and it starts off so aggressively, and it's such an indictment of everything that she dislikes about American culture. Hollywood zeroes in a bit more specifically about celebrity worship and fame and how hollow all of that is. And then I'm So Stupid is her like turning inward to herself and being like, all the things that I cared about don't matter. Like I'm stupider than stupid. Everything single thing that I thought was a priority is actually meaningless. I love how the album gradually gets warmer. I mean, American Life, I think, is the harshest production and it's the most garish sounding. But then you compare that with the last song in the record, Easy Ride, and like Maria was talking about, it has this like such orchestral vibe, and it has this kind of like cinematic quality to it. And it's just such a journey from the first song to the last song. Lyrically, this is my favorite mode of Madonna's. I think she's at her best when she's digging really, really deep internally and being very reflective about herself and what she's experienced and the way that she looks at life. I find it very, very moving. I adore the vocal performances on this record. Like I think I I think I mean I just like her voice more than Drew does. I just know that like that's something that holds Drew back a lot of the times with her. I love her voice, and I think that this record is a great example of the way that she knows exactly how to embody a song. I love all the weird stuff that like Drew is kind of referring to that she does here vocally. She like does these like really cool growls, and I'm So Stupid that I find really cool. She's able to make herself sound so like quiet and small sounding on Ecstatic Process. I love the vocal placement on Mother and Father. I feel like she sounds like a little kid. Like there's this like lightness and like kind of like nasally quality to her voice on it that makes her sound very childlike, which I find very emotional. And then the last thing I want to say is that Mirwais is just one of my favorite collaborators of hers. I think that he brings out this really adventurous, experimental, weird, fascinating side in her. I love his production style. I love how choppy and eclectic it is. I think that he uses her voice really interestingly. Like her voice to me sounds not isolated from the production, but it sounds like an instrument itself, and it's really used to enhance what's happening musically. The I don't really feel like the music is just like background for the vocal. I think that with this record, they do such a great job of making an album that is incredibly cohesive. I think every single song fits. This feels like such a whole, but I don't really feel like this is a type of cohesive album where like the songs all sound the same. Like I think they do a really great job of giving the songs their own kind of specific musical identity. There's a lot of just really interesting choices made here. Maria was kind of talking about, I love that she brought up the like weird kind of like starts and stops with the outro and Easy Ride because that is like so bizarre. I love the gospel choir on Nothing Fails. And I love that like that's like the only time that that happens. It just makes it feel like such a moment. I love the way that they do the multi-tracked vocals on Ecstatic Process and like they have all like the different like parts going. And I love the long I and I'm so stupid. I love the because I love how aggressive it is. And I love how jarring it is. Like to me, it like wakes you up because like the song starts kind of slower and you think it's maybe going to be more of a ballad, and then it's just like, oh my God, what's happening? It's just like it's just special. I just think this is a special record, and to me, it like encapsulates so much of what I love about music, what I love about art in general. I love the way it makes me feel. I love the way that it's become something that like we can bond over together as friends. I think that's like what like art is supposed to do. It's supposed to bring us together, and I find it to be really such a gift that like we have something like this to like bond about and make memes about and do crazy text messages about and dance to at the club even when something else completely different is playing. Like it's just like such a gift, and it reminds me of like why art is made. And also like with the state of the world that we're in, I mean, there's a lot of things that are really going horribly wrong. And I just find this album that is about disillusionment and about trying to prioritize the things in life that like actually do matter to be very, very relatable and very poignant. So I can't believe I just did my spiel about American life. This is like so surreal.
Wow. It
Oh,
doesn't feel real.
It doesn't. Like, I hope we've done it. Like, that's my thing is I was just so nervous about not doing it justice.
No, you
I
both definitely did.
I just like want people who have never listened to this to like understand why we think it's so special. They don't have to agree with it. Like I think everybody should have their own relationship with it, but I just want people to understand like why people feel this way about it and like why people feel this way about her and what this album brings out in people that really get it. It's kind of like one of those things like if it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, respect, but if it's for you, it's like really for you and it really really sinks its teeth in you. It's just one of those things to me.
my gosh. Oh, that was beautiful.
And Madonna Stan 33, I think, agrees.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, we're so on board with Madonna Stan 33.
We need to get
Um,
them on the show.
yeah, that'd be awesome. Maybe we can even convince them to think otherwise about Sigmund Freud analyze this.
Yeah, Sigmund Freud analyzed this is so good. I don't know what the heck they're talking about.
Yeah.
Also, like, I don't think that's even close to the craziest thing that she says on here.
Um, I mean, I would definitely say it's up there because you definitely don't see it coming.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely probably the top third of craziest things, but like,
I
all
mean,
of American
there's
life
Sigmund Freud.
exists.
Oh, there's all of
Yeah.
American Life. There's Sigmund Freud. There's my father had to go to work. I used to think he was a jerk.
My
That
father had to
line
go to
is
work. I used to.
crazy.
It's so crazy. My father had to go to work. I used to think he was a jerk.
Like, oh my gosh, there's
But
so
then,
many
okay,
good
the thing
moments.
that's so crazy about
Also,
this
the
album is
part in
that
Hollywood.
what part?
Sorry. Push the button. Don't push
Don't
the
push the
button.
button. Trip the
Trip the
station.
station.
Change the
Change the
channel.
channel.
Ugh,
But no, that American Life thing is like it's so representative of like why this album is so unique because you get an out bonkers lyric like my father had to go to work. I used to think he was a jerk, and then it immediately is followed with I didn't know his heart was broken, which is this like incredibly like mature and reflective and emotional line. And it's like how do these things exist in the same album, let alone in the same song, let alone in the same verse? They're back to back. And it's like
yeah,
it's that kind of like whiplash quality that I just find so exciting about this record.
yeah. And like one of my favorite lyrics on the album in general, and also favorite examples of this like crazy juxtaposition in the lyrics is like, I'm so stupid when she's like, yeah, stupid, stupid, everybody's stupid. And it's just like, okay, this is fun and whatever. And then she's like, I don't want my dreams adding up to nothing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, don't want my dreams adding up to nothing. I
Because I
think
used to
about
live
that
in a
all the
fuzzy
time.
dream. I used to
'Cause
live in a
that's-
fuzzy like
oh,
if you live in a fuzzy dream, your dreams add up to nothing. And you're stupider than
right.
stupid.
And you're stupider than stupid. And you're probably watching TV, reading magazines, and letting strangers give you social diseases.
Oh, there's the amount of social diseases happening right now. Everyone has social disease.
Like,
I feel like we've gotten to the point where I feel like you both are casting spells because I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
no, but well, it's because nobody knows me like you
Yeah,
know me.
Okay.
but if you surrender to it, nothing fails. You know,
Yeah.
because we're
Yeah.
in love with you, you silly thing.
I'm not religious, but I feel so moved.
Oh,
Okay, we could
oh,
quote
we
forever.
literally could. Like, if we didn't rate it in, we could do this for hours. If you
Yeah,
ever want to know what the Pop Girlies group chat is, it's this.
It's just this.
yeah. Oh,
Like, oh my God, you dip the easy in the ride, and it's just good. Okay,
Okay.
so we're gonna get into our favorite songs, our least favorite songs. We're gonna start with our least favorite song on this record. So we call that our me. What's your me? After me, hee hee, hoo hoo hoo, poo poo poo. Which, okay, this is so embarrassing. So Apple Music, it's the 10th anniversary of Apple Music today, and like they're releasing their 500 most streamed songs of all
Is me
time.
your number one?
It's my number two, and my number one is The Archer, which is somehow even like more humiliating.
OMG. I was gonna reach out and ask about the
My top three are The Archer, me, and You Need to Calm Down. I was a streaming
whoa.
farm for Lover Era, and I couldn't beat damn Lil Nas X. No, literally, I had my phone the week that me debuted, and like it was predicted to get a number two debut. I would go to sleep and leave a playlist running of me. And I like knew what to do. Like I knew that you couldn't like put your phone on silent. So like I had my headphones connected to it the entire night running at like a
Yeah.
very low volume.
Yeah. You were farming streams for sure.
I was.
I
I
think
was.
now
And
Spotify has a measure against that where if you're streaming a song over and over and over again, like only every third listen of the song counts towards streaming numbers as
I think you're right.
something like that. But
I think about that sometimes when I'm like, because I do listen to songs on repeat all the time, and I'm like, do they probably think I'm a bot? But like I'm actually just crazy. And I'm just listening to I'm So Stupid. I'm So Stupid is my number 30 most played song of the year.
huge. Well, we'll see
Only
how
behind
Virgin
What
maybe
Was That
messes with that.
and Greatest Day from Menorah, which is
Yeah.
kind of a great top three.
Yeah.
I mean, plays for legends.
Okay. So, Maria, what is your me on American Masterpiece?
Okay. Um, well, this was hard for me. And I remember Levi like a couple months ago, we talked about this in advance. And I actually have a different answer from what I had said to you initially.
Oh,
Uh,
I don't remember what you. Oh, yes, I do remember what you said because I think I didn't I say it was crazy.
you were upset with me. But I'm not changing it just because you were upset with me. It's because I actually gave it more thought. But it's hard because I think the narrative in the song is really interesting, but I'm probably the most likely to skip this song out of any song when I'm listening to the album. And it's like if I'm hitting play on American Life, the song, then I'm listening to the whole album. So like I'm not a big fan of skipping around when I'm listening to an album, but still. So my me, and don't get me wrong, love every song, is Ecstatic Process.
See, that's more what I was expecting you to say.
Right.
That I feel like makes more sense with what I like know about the kinds of songs that you typically pick for me's.
Yeah, yeah. Because at first I initially picked Easy Ride, because I think by the time I got to the last track, I like my brain would be so on overload from every single song that I had just experienced up until that point, where there was no more space for Easy Ride to go in my brain. But I was like, okay, I got to do some reconsolidating in my brain so that I can make this song fit and actually give it a fair chance, as opposed to just being like, it's whatever, it's the last song. I mean, I just heard Die Another Day. Like, I don't know if I can handle another song, but I figured it out, and it's that's not my least favorite track anymore. So,
See, the reason why I was so shocked is because Easy Ride was one of the first songs that I became like really obsessed with. It was like
oh,
one of like
really?
the first earliest ones of me being like, I can't believe this song exists. And I would listen to it,
Whoa.
I'd walk around Lakeview and just listen to it on repeat, on repeat, on repeat, on repeat.
It's so good. When the beat comes in too, like midway through,
It's so good. It's so good.
it's so
Okay.
good.
So we got Ecstatic Process from Maria. Drew, what is your me?
Mine is actually also ecstatic process. Um,
Wow. Well, because
yeah,
you did
I
say that
kind
this
of
was the bumpiest section of the album for you.
yeah. Um, yeah, it slows down in a way that I'm not like obsessed with, and I'm also just like get me to mother and father right now.
Which is the right answer, by the way. That's what everybody should be saying.
Regardless of what they're listening to.
Yeah, I mean, you could be listening to literally David Bowie, and you could be like, "Give me the mother and father."
I think
Yeah.
though that with ecstatic process resolving on like such like a major like happy note is so interesting because the song I think exists in a minor chord like the whole time and then it resolves and it is interesting. I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It,
And
it, it
also, it's like
makes
a,
for an interesting ending.
it's like a positive. It's like the first positive development in the song as well lyrically because it's
Yeah,
the first time that she says, "I forgot that I was just as good as you," not
right.
talking about that like she wishes she was just as good as this person.
Yes. No.
I have had moments to this song, like walking around to the song in the winter depressed is really, really cool.
Give it a go.
Give it a go next December. Well, I'm gonna break the trend. My me, and again, I love every song. I don't think there's a bad song. I don't even think there's just a simply okay song on here. But like the kind of criteria of just like the one that I gravitate to the least often and the one that like I always listen to it within the context of the record, but it's like definitely the one I think I've like turned on individually the least is Nobody Knows Me. And I think it's sort of one of those things where it's just like the first 4 track run is so strong, and then I'm so excited to get to Nothing Fails that it's almost like anything that is in that spot would be viewed just kind of a little harsher. And like, there's so many things about that song I enjoy. It's just, I mean, just something has to be your least favorite. Like, something has to be bottom of the barrel. And unfortunately, The Social Disease is just last place for me. But that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Because the thing is too, it's like I love the opening verse is one of my favorite lines of the album. That I've had so many lives since I was a child and I realize how many times I've died. I think that's so interesting and so cool. But it's just like you compare that with Love Profusion and then you compare that with Nothing Fails and it's like it just like the social disease just doesn't make the
You're like,
cut.
get out of here. Yeah.
Because like do I have the social disease under my skin? No. Does the social disease make me want to pray even though I'm not religious? No.
Am I
So,
watching TV and reading magazines? Yes.
yes. So it's like what are you gonna do?
My God.
Okay. Now the thing I've been most excited about. Talking about our Holy Trinities, top 3 songs. Maria. Oh my God. I can't believe this is about to happen.
I
Maria.
know. I'm like freaking out.
I'm
Okay.
about to start crying. What is your Holy Trinity
I'm like so full of emotion. I don't even know what to do. Okay,
on
so
American
I feel
Life?
like American Life. So I feel like I have a really basic Holy Trinity, but like
First of all, that's not possible with American Life because every single answer is
Yeah.
valid. So like you can't don't even give me that because think about this. What is a basic song on this album?
true. True,
Yeah.
true, 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 true. Okay. Well, I okay. My number three is Love Profusion.
Ugh.
Oh, wow. That doesn't
It's
seem
under
basic.
it's is it under your skin, Maria?
Yeah. Like I love the idea of a love profusion. Did somebody say something about a love profusion? Like it's just crazy. It gets to a point where it's like I love that someone thought to put those two words next to each other. It's just so
Agreed.
beautiful. The song is so
Agreed.
good. It's like it's
You
overwhelming how
put the love with the profusion, and it's just good.
and it's just
You put
good.
the too many options with the no consolation, and it's just good.
That's what I'm saying. Oh my God. It's just so good. I'm like so obsessed with it. My number two is Hollywood.
Everybody wants to go. Everybody wants to go to Hollywood.
Push the button. Don't push
Don't
the
push the
button.
button.
The song is literally perfect, and it's also one of my favorite Madonna music videos ever.
Music video, very good.
I'm so obsessed with this video. It's so good, but everything about the song is so great. And the key change and all that, like it's in the guitar loop on it is also just like so good. And it's funny because it's like caricaturizing like all of these like very like materialistic things about like Hollywood and the music industry and like being famous and whatever and like all that sort of stuff. But it also genuinely just feels like such an amazing like summertime windows down like kind of like just vibe and chill to kind of song. Like
The
I like the
concept
way
of Hollywood by Madonna being your carefree summer jam.
like but like it has that quality to it though. Where like when like envision the song, I'm like driving down Lakeshore Drive and it's like summertime and it's like the sun's about to set and you're just cruising and it's like everything. That's like the summer vibe that the song has, but then it's just so funny because it's like got this like really kind of like potent meaning behind it. And the song is just everything, and the music video is everything, and it's perfect. Um, and I mean, my number one is it was always going to be title track American Life
Wow.
forever and always. I mean, it's so amazing. It's indescribable. It's completely unique, not ever been done before. And it's I feel like honestly, it's like the song like it like well I've okay. I have a playlist on Spotify that I call Meet Maria and I put all of my like favorite songs of all time in it. And I mean, this one obviously is in there.
Of
Like it just
course.
I think all of Gaga's discography is on there.
well, of course. Yeah.
Besides Joanne.
But not too much. But like honestly, just this song and like the memories that I've made because of
Hmm.
it with you guys is just like so
Oh,
irreplaceable to me. And it's like such, even though it's like got like such also like this heavier meaning, like for me, that song is such a source of joy because I share it with you too. So,
oh.
Oh, Maria. Oh.
so yeah, there we have it.
And it's also just good.
And it's just good. You mix the American light with the life and it's good. You mix the soy lattes with the double shottes and it's just good. And you take your Mini Cooper and you feel
You feel
super
so
duper
super duper.
and it's just good. And you got your gardener and your chef and your stylist and what more could you want?
You mix the isotopes with the metaphysics shit, and it's just good.
Yeah. Do you think I'm satisfied?
Okay,
Okay.
Drew,
Okay.
give us it.
My number three is Mother and Father.
Yeah, it is.
That rap,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. My number two is also Hollywood. Um,
Yes.
I mean, for the same reasons that Maria said, I think, yeah, it's just so good. Yeah, I think it's so fun too. And then my number one is American Life.
Wow, so you guys have the same except for number three.
Yeah, huge.
Wow. Okay, mine's a bit different than I don't follow the same patterns.
Oh my gosh.
This bird has flown, you could say. So my number three is I'm So Stupid.
Uh-huh.
I'm So Stupid is a song I listen to pray, to laugh, to dance, to cry. It is, it's just everything to me. It's a song I listen to run when I'm at the gym, to like focus on work. I just find it like if I'm ever just sitting down, I just want to listen to it. I love the sonic territory. I love the melody. I find it so catchy. I love what she's talking about on the song. I find it really relatable. It's just it's just everything to me. I love it. My number two, I kind of can't believe that Maria didn't talk about this one. My number two is Nothing Fails. Nothing
Yeah.
Fails is my favorite love song in her discography. I have cried so many times to this song. I find it so moving. I would call it the centerpiece of the album. Like, it's number six on an 11 track album. So it is in the middle, but like, it feels like this planet that all the other songs are orbiting around. It is this just like profound moment. I feel like it's such a thesis statement of like her priorities at this time, of what she thinks actually matters in life. I find, especially like with so much of her career has been about religion. She's used that as thematic material to explore, as imagery to use. Like, religion is just such a huge part of her artistic identity. For her to say, I'm not religious, but I feel so moved. I want to pray you always be here. Like, it's just I just find it so incredibly moving. Also, there's a lyric in the second verse that is one of my favorite lyrics on the record. It's the because I've climbed the tree of life, and that is why no longer scared if I fall. I just think that's so beautiful. Um, so yeah, I love Nothing Fails. And then my number one, this is like the tippy toppest of my God tier Madonna songs. It might be my number two favorite Madonna song of all time. Um, it's Mother and Father.
Hmm.
Like, and I can tell you, again, the song has always gagged me, but I actually began the extreme gaggery process of it last October. I was really going through, it was around my birthday. I was really going through this intense Madonna hysteria. And I remember I was in my car, I was at the intersection of Belmont and Halstead, right by Drews and Halstead, and listening to the song and being like, I can't believe that this song exists. Like, structurally, I can't believe it exists. Musically, I can't believe it exists. Melodically, I can't believe it exists. Production wise, I can't believe that it exists. Lyrically, I can't believe that it exists. Like, it's just like so impactful to me. It's such a triumph. I feel like it is the end of one of my favorite narrative arcs in music history. This like personal reckoning that she's had with her mother's death. I mean, there's this video that we've like shared, and it's really funny, but it's also just really impactful. It's like this interview. I think it's from sometime in the 90s. She has like short blonde hair in it. So I want to guess it's like early 90s. And this interview is asking her, like, you've achieved so much like success, fame, whatever. Is there anything that you would give it up for? And she goes, yes. And the interview goes, what? And she goes, a mother. And it's like, it's just one of those reminders, like, that's been like the hole that's like driven her entire life. And reading her book, the book I've been reading, like, so much of her life has been dedicated to like being a maternal figure for other people because she didn't have that. Like, her dancers on her tours, she's been a very maternal figure for them. And like, the reason why she's taken, her kids so seriously is because she didn't have a mother. It's just so moving to me. And this rap is like one of my favorite bits of music ever. Um, it's like, they couldn't take my loneliness, I couldn't take their phoniness. I made a vow that I would never need another person ever, turned my heart into a cage, a victim of a kind of rage. And then just this like end of I've got to give it up, I've got to give it up, I've got to give it up, I've got to give it up. It's just everything to me. It's everything. It's me, it's mother and father. Like, you mix the find someone with the to love me, and it's just good.
I mean,
Wow. And it's so crazy because there's so many songs that like I could have talked like Die Another Day I could have included. Easy Ride could have included. Title Track I could have included. Love Profusion I could have included. Except Cuts I could have included. Intervention I could have included. Like so many songs.
literally every song.
Literally, like
Everyone.
literally.
I
Wow.
kind of thought that I'm So Stupid was gonna be Andrew's top three. I'm kind of surprised
Wow.
because I feel like that one was a big moment. I feel like that's when you sent lyrics in the group chat too a lot of the time. But
But you
I
Yeah,
said
I
it's
you didn't
American
get
like
Life.
you don't like the eye thing, right?
I don't like the
Oh,
Well, I was kind of surprised that Die Another Day wasn't in yours, Maria.
oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
I mean, Die
it's
Another
so
Day is
good.
so good.
It's so good.
Ugh.
And nothing fails. I mean,
Yeah,
ugh.
and I was surprised that one wasn't in yours as well.
I mean, it's like cruel and unusual having to choose just a top three from this
Well,
album. But we did it and we
we did
survived
it.
and it's okay.
Okay. So now we're gonna
Oh,
break open these utensil drawers and we're gonna review our beautiful American life. Um, Drew Fork.
This is kind of crazy.
And there's no pressure. I know that we've joked so much about it, but like, I really want you to do because the American life way is to like not pressure people and put negative emotions on other people. So
yeah.
truly, there's no pressure.
Okay. I'm gonna go in at an 8.
That's a beautiful score. Thank you for that.
Thank you for sharing that number.
Okay, Maria Spoon.
10. Can you imagine if I made all this fuss and then didn't give it a 10?
I just thought just like hearing you say a Madonna album is a 10, it's just like it's fucking heroin in my veins. It's so good. Uh, what if I was like 5? No,
9.9.
Mama, that's a 10. It's a 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10.
It's over. It's a 10.
Okay. I think that this is the highest average score for a Madonna album so far. It's a 9.3
Right.
because Ray of Light has an 8.83. Uh, Like a Prayer has an 8.96 and Erotica has an 8.3. So yeah, the Pop Girlies official rating for the Madonna discography so far would be American Life, Ray of Light, Like a Prayer, Erotica. Wow.
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 It will be interesting though, because I do think there's one album that's possible for it to get a higher score. Because
Yeah,
I do believe that Drew will give Confessions on a Dance Floor a higher score than he gave American Life. And so
totally.
I do think there's a world that like that becomes the number one. But for now, American Life is Pop Girlie's favorite Madonna album, and that's something to be really celebrated.
Yeah, that's something to celebration tour.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ah, well, we did it.
We
Oh my
did
God.
it.
This is literally like we just like achieved so much.
I mean,
Wow.
a whole new school of thought was just
Yeah.
birthed into the world.
I mean, the amount of soy latte sold in America is going to skyrocket.
It's about
They're
to
going to
go
run out
up.
of soy.
And then I'm
Mm.
gonna be walking down the street and I'm gonna be like, whoa, every single car is a Mini Cooper.
Wow. Wow. And like
Yeah.
you're going to all these like bodies, all these hotties with their bodies, it's good because of the Pilates classes that they're taking.
Now every single athletics thing, everyone's doing
It's
Pilates.
Pilates
Everyone's got a gardener and a
and a
stylist
chef
and a chef.
and the amount of isotopes just abounding
Isotopes.
around.
I mean,
Wow.
about there,
Wow.
there we have it. We finally did
Well,
it.
well, Maria, what are we doing next? Now that we've done American Life, now that we've done Virgin and American Life, I mean, some could say that we should just end the show, but nevertheless, we persist and
Right.
continue to cover music. And what are we doing next week?
Yeah. So next week we're continuing on with our theme of very heady concepts. So next week we're going to be talking a whole lot about desire,
Mm.
specifically Desire I Want to Turn Into You by Caroline Polachek.
Oh my God, you mix the desire with the
Wow.
turning into, and it's just good.
Yeah.
Just good.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
there's going to be so much to ruminate on when it comes to desire, the turning into, and the like.
The concept of it just being smoke.
I mean,
Da 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 da.
Like
you mix the hope drunk with the ever asking, and it's just good. It writes itself.
well, well, Pop Girlies, thank you so much for listening. We love you all so much. Um, Thank you for being American lifers with us today.
Hmm.
Yes,
Like,
Well,
it's been an
we
easy
did
ride
it.
with you.
it's been an easy ride. I'm gonna
It's
go.
been an ecstatic process.
Woo. Well, I've got to give it up.
I gotta go die another day.
Nothing fails.
Okay.
Guys, we just talked about
Bye,
American Life. I feel
Shanti.
so moved.
I, I have to
All right.
pray. Pray Pop Girlies Nation will always be there.
Mhm. Oh,
Shanti.
well, bye, Pop Girly Station. Thank you.
Shanti.